The following podcast may be explicit. One Joe Young presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Let's rejoin Lenore, Trillium, and Uriel in the middle of figuring out what happened to the blacksmith, Jolly Gerald. They are sure to have interesting and effective options for discerning the reality surrounding Gerald's death. Enjoy the podcast.
Hi, and welcome back to The Shed for Adventures from the Shed. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Search us up on the internet, and wherever you see a result, go ahead and click it. Hopefully you find us. We'd love to hear from you. We can also be found at adventuresfromtheshed@gmail.com. You can send us email, and we will definitely reply. We are jumping back into our Dungeon World adventure we are calling A New Frontier. We'll get back into the action quickly. Once we remember who's sitting around the table, we'll start right here to my left with...
Hello! This is Kelly playing Trillium the Druid.
This is Chris. I'm playing Uriel the Immolator.
And this is Bridget playing Lenore the Cleric.
And this is Joe. I am the Game Master as I get us right back into our story here, which has a Trillium the Druid in snake form, a corn snake with little, like almost down feathers coming out of the around her head, almost like a mane, who is about to try and figure out if the blacksmith was poisoned by tasting the dead blacksmith. Are you ready for that?
Not proud of myself, guys. Not proud.
But you're not being ridden. Think of the positives.
Yeah.
This is true.
She is stooped to a new lateral, as it were.
It's okay. I'm doing a charcoal drawing of this moment. Posterity.
Please. So I am, I have slithered up the chair.
Yeah.
I'm on the headrest of the chair, and I'm kind of hovering my head around to Gerald's dead mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm sticking my tongue out, trying to smell if I can smell any sort of poison that maybe was used on him, or...
And that special snake ability allows you to get that taste in as you turn back into a human. I don't know if we've established what might it look like when a snake turns back into a human druid.
Let's say after I stick my tongue out, I probably have like a facial expression that says, "Pew, that is nasty, and I don't want to do that again." One eye closed, mouth opens up, tongue's out.
Your Popeye.
And and then let's just say I coil into I quickly coil up into a ball and
cry yourself inconsolably.
She's gonna need a minute.
No.
I don't want to.
You can't make me.
Because you have been good with coming up with names for plants so far, I'm going to let you do this. But the first thing on your mind is, it's definitely the blank plant.
Can we say? Let's say it is rainbow cohosh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Rainbow
You went there.
Cohosh. I'm going to have to type this because that sounded neat. Okay.
I was halfway inspired because of the Chick-fil-A
There
toy
you
dice.
go. The rainbow helped. And this plant, when found in nature, causes... think of it like a poison ivy, poison oak kind of thing. It causes severe rash. So if it's ingested, it closes up your insides.
Okay.
So that
Pretty
is what's
gross.
on his insides.
I didn't go in.
No.
I did not go in. I want it to be known. I did not enter.
That's not
was
what my
on the
drawing
lips.
shows. This is charcoal. This is you.
But this could also be ground up and added to some food, perhaps.
Okay.
Chances are, based on what you can see, he didn't just pick up the plant and eat it himself because there's no rash or injury on the external parts of his body.
So it wasn't thrown into the fire either to just be inhaled because he'd have
That's
a
good
rash
point.
all over his body.
And be more people possibly too, because all of the smoke coming from the smithy is around the neighborhood as well. He regularly throws mesquite into the forge so that the neighborhood smells nice.
Oh.
Or he did.
The only problem we
refer to
have
him in
is
the past
sometimes
tense.
the wind blows the wrong direction and it blows right into the infirmary. It's a little bit difficult to treat people with asthma.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Smells nice.
I can see that.
Yeah.
So the rainbow Cohosh was definitely slipped to the blacksmith.
Okay. All right. So I am now back in my human form, sitting on top of the headrest. I quickly jump down. I'm completely skeeved out.
And you feel like your tongue's probably going to itch for days.
Ugh. Okay. So guys, I got a whiff of some rainbow Cohosh on our friend Jerry here.
And I'm going to say
Does
it's...
that grow in these parts?
I was going to say it's probably like a poison ivy thing where people have heard of it.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So not necessarily mysterious. It's just a thing.
Okay.
But it's not growing around the city. It's probably outside the city. So, yeah.
That's very
You're
possible.
not accidentally getting that.
Well, if you guys have an idea of what we might want to ask him, I could try and speak with him.
He's not quite dead.
He's not quite
He's
dead.
getting better.
He's freshly dead. Is he still a little warm, or is he already
I
cold?
would say from a day, I don't think he's warm anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's, like an hour or two before
room
the human
temperature.
body loses heat.
Well, I could attempt to speak with him, and if we have some
Yeah, that would be
relevant questions to ask, because I'm not sure what I would ask him.
Well,
Could we kind of
you mentioned
know
something
maybe
that
how
could,
he died?
He could even sense things after death. Possibly?
It said that knowledge he had in life and knowledge he gained in death.
Right. Yeah. Gained.
So
yeah.
possibly he does know he was, because you found there was other tracks in here besides his.
Yes.
So yeah, you might not know who killed him because if it's poison, you might not know.
It might not have been
That could have been
instant.
set up hours
Yeah.
before he died. But if he sensed after
Yes.
it being dead who was in the apartment, then yeah, bonus.
All right.
So I need to know before you roll, because of the cool descriptions you've come up with so far, I'm going to put you on the spot again. What does it look like when Lenore is prepping to speak with a dead being?
She licks his tongue out.
Well, I have my little symbol, my little pendant
Yeah.
that I'm going to make a tiny cut on my arm and put a drop of my blood on his lips,
Damn,
Okay.
girl.
and then
Make sure you don't get any of that
pray
Cohosh
to-
in there.
pray
Yeah.
to Zoraika. Yeah, I'm going to be careful not to touch him, but I'm going to pray to Zoraika that she grants me wisdom to speak with him.
That's
Cool.
pretty wicked.
It is.
I like
I
that.
dig it.
Let's see what happens. Now is when you get to roll. And remember, you're casting a spell, so keep an eye on
I
your
remember
cast a
that.
spell move.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what you're rolling for here.
6. That's not good.
Yeah,
Plus,
if you got bonuses.
Plus, what, wisdom?
cast a spell.
Ah,
That's plus
wisdom. So that's 8.
All right. Now, people had failure chips
I had
laying
one chip.
around. So you're welcome to turn this
So-
right into a full success if you've got 2 chips to go with. You have 1.
I have 1. Does anybody have one
I'm
more?
sure somebody
You had some. I don't know if I had any left at the time.
So we're
I'm
gonna
out of chips.
we're
wanna
gonna
say-
say that Kelly had.
I want to say
one,
she at
as
least
long
had
as she's
one.
willing to
she
give
had,
it up.
because she had a couple.
Yeah, go
Right.
for it. I had no
Okay.
idea I had one.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Well, any
'cause you had a
failure,
lot.
any failure you had translated
'Cause we
into
had
a
'em
chip
written-
that you could give someone.
Yeah,
else.
but we
Right.
have different characters.
Yeah,
Okay.
you guys don't have your sheets, but
Yeah.
we had written them at the end of the last.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure you had one.
yeah.
So
you
we're
can
going to
have
say
it.
that
So,
happens, and you'll
okay.
go straight with a 10, a success, so we
Okay.
don't have to worry about the negative effects. Now, I get to say what it looks like when a dead person talks to you, but you get to tell me how the spell comes off, what happens. So you got the blood on his lip.
Mm-hmm.
You made the prayer. It was successful. So what do you expect to happen?
I
next?
expect him to open his eyes and turn towards me because
Okay.
I'm the one that's linked with him to speak.
Okay.
But so he can't. I don't think he can hear anybody else except me. So you guys have to tell me what
I'll buy
to
that.
what to ask. He can speak like you can hear him when he answers, but he
Yeah.
can't hear you guys
Okay, I gotcha.
Okay.
because he doesn't know anything else except speaking out loud. He's
Okay.
not a
So-
wizard or anything.
Excuse me, where I had to yawn at you. So when you do that, his head was back, and when you cast the spell, his eyes open, and when his head leans forward, there's cracking in his neck, like he's, like he just got out of a chair after sitting for 5 hours. It was snapping and cracking, and his head comes up, and when he looks at you, he has like clouded over eyes, and it's like he's looking at the back of your head through your eyes. And his mouth is open, and you just hear like a soft, gurgly whisper as a constant stream, like he couldn't possibly have held his breath that long. And he's just sitting there waiting for you with a
Static. He's waiting for
yeah,
somebody to tune him
Wait for
in.
the signal.
yeah, exactly.
Well, the first thing is like, if he knows his, do you get 3 questions? Is that
3
like,
Do
questions.
you know the lottery numbers for tomorrow?
I would say if he's, if he could sense things in death, he was, rummaging through his apartment after he was killed.
Okay. Gerald, do you know who was in your apartment when you died, or after you died?
A man made of stone.
Ah, damn it. It's that gargoyle thing.
Yeah.
Was it Drummond? Can we ask him if it was Drummond?
If you want to straight up, because that's question 2.
Also remember, you can keep casting the spell until something bad happens.
It's true.
And I don't know if
Okay.
you want something bad to happen when you're talking to a dead
No,
person.
no,
Totally
nope,
want that to
Nope, nope. Because I'm not getting any
Yeah.
any happiness off of this.
Or maybe ask him if he knows where Drummond is, or what's Drummond's connection to all of this.
Is Drummond responsible for your death?
I don't think so. He wasn't here.
We want to know who burned the place down and shut it down, or is it? Does it matter?
No, I don't. Yeah. Maybe we could ask where his supplies came from. Like, who was he ordering from? Because isn't that where, like, a lot of the stolen stuff, was
Yeah,
coming
but Drummond
from?
was
Yeah.
doing all the work.
It was
Ah,
all
okay.
done without...
Gerald's
From
kinda
what
the
you've learned so far, it's all
good
done
guy.
without Gerald knowing anything bad was happening.
Yeah, he was just
Okay.
working
Yeah.
the forge, and everything else was
So
Drummond.
unless he got some clue in the last day after he died, like unless some secret meeting was held in front of his dead body, then he probably doesn't know.
What if...
We can ask him what the stone gut man was looking for in his apartment. I mean, if you're going to poison a guy and you know he's dead, why not just, why even come in? And how do you get out of here,
Gerald, what did the stone man want?
That's a tricky
What was he
question,
looking for?
Because I don't know if he would know someone else's motive.
Or why would somebody want you dead?
Well,
I let you
what would be the
maybe-
purpose of
some
what
way.
would be the purpose of killing Gerald? Seriously, because he didn't know anything. He didn't know anything. He didn't know anything Drummond
Well-
was doing.
Maybe we should ask him what he learned. What has he learned after his death? Has he learned anything? Like, wasn't that one of the options? One of the questions.
It said
That's a good point. Because it doesn't say you have to
best
ask
of the
him yes or
knowledge
no
it has
questions.
in life and the
Right.
knowledge it gained in death.
You make me answer a long question with the dead guy voice. Sure. why
So, Gerald, what's happened since you died? How's it hanging?
How's the dead life?
What's it like on the other side?
The most wood I've had in years. Excuse me.
I'm as rigid as my forge.
Yes. All right. I'll try and make it brief. So as far as Gerald can tell, he was killed, and they set fire to the place, hoping it would all burn, but it didn't all burn. Nobody came to check on him because he heard a voice that he didn't recognize tell them that Gerald left town. So they closed the place up for 2 weeks. And no one came looking for him, and he was just left here in his apartment. So from what he can tell, from what you guys discovered the day before, new knowledge for him, was Drummond was up to something. They killed him, torched the place, and took off. That's what he can tell based on what has happened in the few hours before he was killed, where you guys were there, and the day since he's been dead. And the breath goes out of him, and he goes to lean his head back, but it's stuck up, and his eyes closed.
So can you get into the forge from within inside the apartment? Is there an entryway there? Or do you have to go outside and come back in?
There is another door that leads that way.
All right. So we're assuming whoever was in here left,
Left out the back door.
Yeah. Is that easy enough to see tracks going to the forge, or?
Depends. Are you a corn snake?
No, I'm not. I'm also not a ranger either.
Yeah.
But if it's something heavily footed,
yeah.
Would you notice
So Trillium would know that those steps that she saw did lead out the other way. Yes. Okay. But yeah, and are you just going to go through there? Go through the smithy?
Yeah, we gotta check.
I'm going to throw a blanket over Gerald out of respect.
That's cool, because the blanket that's there, his mom made for him. So
Poor
he'd
Jerry.
probably appreciate that.
He ain't so jolly anymore.
Damn!
Jolly Gerald.
I wonder
dead.
if Jerry had that weapon that he wanted to make
He
somewhere.
never made it, but I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna make it for him.
Okay.
He may have started it or something.
Maybe.
Who knows?
We should check the
Or he
forge.
did make it, but didn't necessarily know it was that
Yeah.
one yet,
That's
because
true.
it hasn't yet been discovered.
That's true.
So did you want to look around again? I guess?
Yeah, check the
That's
forge
my other
out, see if there's
question.
anything we missed.
Yeah.
So let's
Maybe if there's anything different from...
as
Yeah,
a
that's true.
group, let's step out into the forge, and while you're investigating the area, let's trigger another discern realities, which will help me. Now, anyone can roll this, so let's do one person, and that one person, if the others want to aid, you can use the aid or interfere action, which can give that
Wanna
give
roll?
that one person another plus.
I have a plus
You guys both have +2. I
Yeah.
got +1.
For wisdom.
Well, let's go with Lenore then, because she didn't have the last roll
Yeah, I did.
for the discern realities.
No, I had
All
to
right.
speak with Dead.
But we're going to share the discern realities. So if you guys are all going to
Share
look
the
around,
loot.
what we'll take it as Trillium and Uriel are aiding.
Right.
So roll the aid or interfere.
Don't interfere.
Yeah, yeah. But you're choosing to aid. If you want to interfere, you can impose a -2 on somebody.
Right.
But they're trying
But
to
she
get the
doesn't...
plus
Does
1.
she have a bond with me?
I don't remember if y'all still have.
I had
bonds
a
or
bond.
not.
You
with
had
her,
a
but
bond with me.
And it pulled off.
He pulled it off.
I got a.
She touched
Yeah.
to dead people.
8 plus 2 is 10.
Looks like Kelly gets a failure.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
I got a 5.
Yeah,
So
I got an 8.
we need to make a note that you have a chip from that then, because failures make chips happen.
Yay, chips.
Ice
Yay.
cream.
Tortilla. You get a tortilla chip
Chips.
from that.
Chips, ice cream.
Tortilla?
Chips and ice cream.
Ice cream. Chips,
Do you
chips,
need a
chips.
tortilla chip?
No,
A
I'm good.
cake.
It's an Adventure Time thing.
So, what did you roll, Bridget?
8 plus 2, 10.
Okay. And the other plus would have helped anyway if you had it lower. But we're good.
Yeah.
All right.
Although it says on the 7-9 you expose yourself to danger, retribution, or cost.
Yep. And she had a failure, so this is all fun. So when the roof collapses, we'll know why.
Yeah.
Because of the fire. First off, as you enter the smithy, it does look like a lot of the combustible things have combusted, at least somewhat. So any wooden beams or anything have that layer of black char on them that looks, like it's like waves going through it, that look. But it does look like the fire was put out, which of course it was because it's not currently on fire. And based on what Gerald was saying, the fire was put out before it reached his apartment, and from what you can see, it did. The fire was put out maybe 3 feet before the apartment. So whoever got there and put the fire out would have saved his life if he weren't dead. But as it were, they stopped it from actually having consumed his corpse, because it would have spread to the apartment and, killed him. Or double burned his
So
corpse.
whoever
So
put
anyway,
the fire out didn't know he was already dead.
Right. And they were told, again, according to him, he heard somebody saying that Gerald wasn't here anyway, so they didn't bother to check on him. Must have been a trusted voice. That's another important key out of that if somebody says he's not here and they trusted him rather than just opening a door.
Drummond.
Well, he said Gerald said he didn't recognize the voice.
As far as he knew, Drummond wasn't involved. Right? Because the question was asked, was Drummond involved? And he's like, I don't think so. Because he doesn't really know for sure. Although he knows he was played now, he doesn't know if Drummond was part of killing him.
Yeah.
So
All
now
right,
you
so
have
we
your
do the
questions. I try
general-
to set the scene for you.
What here is not what it appears to be.
That would be a
What
good
did
one.
you already do first? Did you
I didn't do
Nothing
anything
yet.
yet.
I was just setting
I always
the
do what
scene.
is useful.
just going
Useful or
off.
valuable.
Okay.
Okay. What's useful or valuable?
From a very simplistic point, everything that was in the blacksmith shop before it was burned is still there. So all of his tools, all of the stuff he had made, everything is laying around. Nothing has been removed from the shop as far as you can tell. So anything that he had created or supplies or any of that stuff is around. It can be useful or valuable to you depending on how you choose to handle it. So it's kind of like you can go free shopping, if you will, because you're not stealing anything from a dead man.
That's true.
Yeah. What else you want to find out?
But here's not what it appears to be.
Here's not what it appears to be. Okay. Gerald's not really dead. No, he's really dead. Like really, really dead.
Like twice
the-
dead.
To the point that you would make him talk dead. There's a spot towards the middle of the floor where the water had pooled and looks like it went down underneath. Like there's a false floor towards the middle.
Can we check that out before we finalize our question? Last time?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Check out the false floor area.
There's
I'm gonna pry it up with something.
yeah.
I'm sure he's
And
got
I would
tools for
say-
that easily. Yeah.
And you guys
Crowbar?
you guys would be able to do it. It takes a lot of effort. Like this big stone slab has not been moved in probably forever.
Oh, so it's stone?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, almost everything in here is stone. There's wood holding pieces up. The counter is made of wood, stuff like that. But most of the building is stone, and the floor is stone. The what you're picking up is like actually now I think about it, it's like the lid to the septic tank, just huge
Like a giant
slab
concrete
of
slab.
concrete that's hundreds of pounds. You're able to pry it up enough and move it to the side that you can see that it drops down, and what looks like iron rungs embedded in the wall that go down into darkness. It's big enough for one person to fit. It's big enough for one person to fit.
Torch.
I have light, but I have to be in the presence of whatever I touch to light.
So her light spell, once she lights something, it needs to be near her in order for it to stay lit.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
But don't you have like flaming palms?
Yeah, but I don't
Of doom.
need to use it. I don't need to use that. It's more for a weapon. I conjure weapons,
I guess
or
we
I
could
can move fire that's already
Probably
existed.
get a small torch.
Oh, I have
from
dungeon
around
around here,
here.
so I
Yeah.
got a torch.
There are also pieces of wood laying around
That's
that
what I
have
mean, like-
recently
Yes.
burned that could probably
Yeah.
be re-alight.
Yeah.
But now
we're literally in a
I
forge.
can manipulate this fire that's already created, though.
Yeah.
So I'll go down.
Dun,
Torch.
dun, dun. So before you go too far there, because you were examining this area, let's use up that last question. As you're getting ready to descend.
What should I be on the lookout for?
Yeah, that's pretty
It's an immolator falling to his death.
Well, besides that,
She's not going to be on the lookout for that.
what's
She
not
wants to suffer.
what's
On the
not
lookout
so obvious
for
that we
that.
should be on the lookout
She's up
for?
for suffering.
The first assumption that one might make when opening something that leads down is that it might go to where the sewers and waste management stuff is, but the smell that comes up from there is almost a completely neutral smell. It's like the smell of maybe dust and I want to say like old, but not musty old. It's just like something that hasn't been opened in a long time.
Like an attic?
Let's say an attic-ish. An attic that is cold.
Just dry,
Cold
dusty.
and dry, yeah. So there's nothing unpleasant smelling down in that.
Maybe it's where Gerald was hiding his super weapon he was working on.
Dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Voltron is down there.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so
now
you're going
gonna
down?
go? He doesn't waste any time.
Down,
Uriel is just, if there's something to do, he's there. He's doing it. The
A little too bold for my taste.
I am the hothead of the group.
the rungs that are put into the stone on the side have shown no degradation from however long it's been since they've been used. They are firm in the side. You don't even feel any rust on your fingers from these iron bars stuck in the side. It's very well preserved, and it descends about 10 feet. And then there's just a floor down, and it's a long hallway going to the edges of your torch in both directions, left and right, east-west. It's just darkness past the light of your torch.
Can I get a bearing on which hall would go more? Would stay in toward to the city? Like which way would point
Let's
that
take
way?
a look at that map again. Bridget, point to me where the blacksmith is.
The blacksmith is here.
Okay, so east. If we take the map literally
Well,
the way
east
Bridget,
goes that
all right,
way.
you wrote it that way. Then it's not east and west. Sorry, it's north and south.
South.
And south would be towards
South would
towards
go towards
the
the keep.
underside of the city, and north would be outside of the city.
So I'd say I want to take the south direction.
Yeah.
For sure.
Got a
Y'all,
north-south hallway down here.
y'all all
You want us
going
to
that
come
way?
follow you?
Yeah, that would be a good idea. As long as there's enough room down here.
There is.
Yeah.
It's a regular old hallway.
It's your regular old 5-6 feet wide.
Is it work
7,
from
8
stone,
feet
or is
tall.
this dirt like dirt? dug
This
out?
is definitely crafted.
Okay.
It is uniform in size throughout.
Can I?
I'm going
He's
to...
got an idea.
I want to know if it was crafted by humans or does it look like dwarven craftsmanship. Is it that big of a difference?
Interesting.
Because that would be there would be a huge difference in that.
You go
That sounds
discern.
like this sounds like a spout lore.
Yeah.
Oh.
Does the
Yeah.
character actually know the difference between craftsmanship of different races?
With my intelligence, you never
Let's
know.
find out.
8.
Is
May I
it
try and aid you?
8?
Yeah.
8 is your total.
Yeah.
I can try and
got-
aid you.
I'll allow it, but
12.
both of you need to do it in order for him to get to 10. Because you only give him a +1 when you aid.
There's 9.
Yeah.
You
Oh.
would try and aid him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just roll the
Yeah,
bones.
sure. What do you know about stone craftsmanship? Nothing.
I know nothing.
Hello.
I'm in the forest, wood and leaves and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, no.
So yeah.
So
nine's
you
the
get
same.
another failure there, Kelly.
Oh, I do?
You
Well
get another
done.
chip
Look at
unless
me.
you want to.
Anytime you get a 6 or less, that's another failure.
Look
The
at me failing all over the place.
So as far as you can tell, there it looks like the craftsmanship is done with tools of a quality that are probably similar to Dwarven as you know it. So if you had to guess, which at this point you are, it is
Okay.
more likely Dwarven made, but then there's the question of why is it almost 8 feet high?
Right. Yeah. That doesn't. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
So you got a little, you got some information.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what it says.
Yep, it's up to you to make it useful. Right.
All right. Does it look like? Is it very dusty on down here? Is there been
No.
any type of movement? So it's been
No.
like almost airtight.
It feels like the slightest of breezes. Like if you dropped a feather, which you could pluck off her head, I assume. It might hurt. But if you dropped a feather, it would, by the time it reached from maybe 5 feet down to the ground, it might move 1 foot in the direction towards the opening. Like
Right.
the air is just slightly moving towards the opening you made.
Okay. Is it echoey down here? Is it?
Yes,
Or is it,
I'm going to say
or does-
yes.
Okay.
Not a huge amount because it's not solid stone, it's porous.
Okay.
But I think like cement, it'll echo a little bit, but it'll
Right.
stop at some point.
Okay.
So it's like that. No other features anywhere. It's just straight up hallway in both directions.
All right. My vote is to go towards deeper into the city,
Yeah.
South.
which kind of points towards the keep.
It does almost directly.
Funny how that works out.
Yeah. What do you think, Lenore?
Well, I was thinking
That's
if
what you're thinking.
Drummond is missing, that we would want to go the other way out of the city because that might be a way that he went.
Yeah,
if he
but
kind of disappeared without a trace.
Yeah, but he could be in the inner city and nobody would know. Or if he's working for somebody else that's...
Because you guys
Higher
are
up.
really good at your investigation, there's no reason to think anybody else has opened this recently. This was just opened like... if you hadn't made the roll and asked the questions you did, this was a lost to the ages passageway that people probably never knew about.
I say we
Maybe we
go-
just save it for later.
I say we keep going towards the keep.
Okay.
Just because it seems like
I'm burning somebody's house down if it's a keep, and so be it.
just because it seems like the source of a lot of our problems are coming from the higher
That's just
ups.
your anti-city
It is.
way of thought.
It really isn't, because we've
She's
got
after the one percenters.
the good paper guy. We got Perquet.
Yeah, but he's outside the keep wall. Yeah.
He's
He's in the
in on
market.
He
the
deals almost exclusively.
But that's true.
with those
He's very
people.
high end.
Yeah.
right. And why do they keep everything so private?
Because of people like you.
I don't have anything against privacy.
Yeah.
But to kill like a good smithy, that's no good. Innocent man, a jolly fellow.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
The
bad.
guy who
It's bad for
goes by
business.
the moniker of Jolly Gerald. It's-
That's bad for business. It's not the kind of
Rough.
town I want to live in.
All right, let's go. Should we move the... Do we want to move the stone back?
No, it's going to be harder to push it off of.
Gosh, yeah. And
We're assuming people are not going to come in. I mean, the
Yeah.
door's already locked into his place.
back in 2 weeks.
Yeah, people will probably not be looking. Unless they're looking to loot. In that
Yeah.
case,
Right.
who cares? So it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay. So the passageway, because you're going as the crow flies underground.
Yeah.
You're just
As the
going
mole flies.
Straight.
What?
There you go. As the mole digs. It's a lot quicker walk. And you walk what feels like maybe a mile. And under the city, it probably is about that distance. It's hard to tell because everything looks exactly the same.
Is it pretty much goes straight to, from what we can tell, it doesn't like
Yeah.
shift at
There's
all?
no turns,
Okay.
no twists. It's just a
Is it the same
straight
level?
up. Yep, all straight, the same level. Every now and then you hear on the other side of the wall like running water, like it's probably passing possibly a sewage area or
Right.
a water source or something like that. But it's from the outside. You don't see anything. It's just
It's
you're
the big
passing
dig.
areas. It's
This
the
is
big
one of the
dig in
old
Boston.
tunnels.
Yeah.
It's just-
The and as you approach where you would guess the keep area is, the tunnel splits into three. It stays straight, and then like a chicken's foot, the two branches go off to the right and the left from where you are.
So your catacombs this nice, or no?
What catacombs are you speaking of?
Are there any signage, any type of
Zoraika this way?
any ruins or anything that might say like what's down each tunnel?
There are symbols scratched into. Well, I should say scratched. Carved is a better way to put it because it's fancier.
Yeah.
But there are symbols carved into what would probably be directionals or street signs or something in a language that nobody here knows off the top of their head, but might be able to remember something from the past.
If we could spot some lore.
Who's book learned enough to recognize an old language?
Is that
Probably
wisdom?
not going to be me.
That might be.
It would be spout
It's
lore,
about
so
lore.
intelligence.
It's intelligence. Yeah.
So
I think that's
Anybody.
me. Your
See,
intelligence was higher than mine.
To me, spout
I
lore
only have
is
+1.
trivia.
yeah, it's just
Right?
like
Anybody
I think
might
I've
know
seen
it.
that. Or
People could.
Oh, I'm horrible.
But I have
Right.
a 0.
Yeah, so do I.
Okay.
I'll
we could
use
all
a-
go for it. Like, oh, it's
In a real world example,
saw that in a book.
For me, at least, a real world example of spout lore when it's trivia. When it comes to pop culture, I got a -2 for intelligence because I don't know anything about pop culture. But like, I was talking with somebody the other day, and we were talking about obsolete technology. And this guy says, "I've got this old computer in my house with Windows 92 on it." Like, I know there's no such thing as Windows 92. So in that case, my intelligence is
Right.
a +3.
Yep.
But so spout lore is just think of it as trivia, regardless of what your score is.
I got an
you
11.
May know this.
If you guys want to, you don't have
Yeah.
to roll. I got an 11,
I'm
but
good.
you know.
Okay.
Well, I want to see you guys argue over which language it
Yeah,
was.
it's true.
All right, so here's what I can give
I think
you.
I got a 12 anyway, but I'm not.
This is written in a language that you don't remember where where you heard about it because you have this amnesia kind
Right.
of thing, right?
Right, yeah.
But you're sure you remember sitting in a place where you're sitting at this small wooden desk where the chair is mounted to the desk like a schoolroom, and you remember up on the wall and this stern school teacher with this long wooden rod just pointing at these symbols, and you can hear it over and over in your head. It's pretty much telling you things like danger, safe, and whatever. And it's like you're going through this almost like a ritual of recognizing where the stop sign is, the yield sign, stuff like that. And that's what you're seeing here in front of you. And essentially it's telling you straight ahead leads toward safety and left and right leads toward danger.
I think we should probably go left.
Both Bridget and Kelly are looking at him like, you dick.
What the hell, man?
Heads on a swivel. What? He said, what?
And this is one of those times where we will say player knowledge is different from character knowledge, because you guys chose not to roll. You're going with what he learned, and he's pretty confident on what he's saying.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Left is the devil's way.
I am left-handed, so
There you go.
Me too.
That's all that matters.
see,
Sinister sisters.
let's do this.
All right, what the
Let's
heck?
go.
Why not? Left is right.
Well, to me, as the player, say we know what safety probably is. I
We know it's
need
going
to
for
check
the
out
key.
the unknown. Right, I need to check out these
Yeah.
There you
unknowns
go.
first.
Nothing comes at you from behind if it's a safe zone.
Well, you never know.
So you go to the left. The passage goes ahead for, let's say, 20 feet, and then kind of straightens back out towards the south again. So it goes whatever that was, southeast for a little bit, and then goes straight back towards the south again. And you see right towards the edge of the torch light, and we'll say that's 25, 30 feet-ish, you can see on both sides of the hallway what look like prison bars over the front, over the wall. And I assume you just want to go right up there and say hi to whoever's there, right?
Yeah, prison bars. Yeah.
Prison bar. Why not? It looks like
Actually, can I
cells.
have? I have to make a roll for that.
That's all right.
Yeah, screw it. Yeah,
Rolls
I
have
like
been
being-
going
I like
well
being
today.
fancy.
What are
Yeah.
you doing?
I'm going to use Zuko style to bend flame to my will, so I'm going to have the torch, flame on the torch kind of arc up and like go against the ceiling so it lights up whatever's behind these bars. So that we don't have to go
Okay.
up to the bars where we kind of
Okay.
get a more
So
of
you
a
wanna-
reach on the
All right.
on the
You
lighting.
want to look close. You want to be able to see somewhat inside without
Wants to
getting
make a
right up in
chandelier
front.
instead of a
Yeah, pretty
torch.
much. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, we'll see if I can pull it off.
That's what
Yes,
he said.
10
Yes. 10.
does as
Yes,
I command.
10.
All right.
It does what I
so-
want it to. Although on a 7 and 9, it still does. It just wouldn't last very long at all. So this will kind of can keep feeding it,
Cool.
feeding the lighting into the.
So you
prison
put a
area.
light fixture above,
Yeah.
along the
Yeah,
ceiling,
I have a flaming chandelier.
and inside you see from the distance that you've chosen, so you can just see inside. And assuming everyone's walking along with this, you can all see the same thing.
Doop-de-doop,
On
de-doop,
both
de-doop.
sides, and you're probably saying dope-de-dope-de-dope as well.
It's a cult thing.
It looks like skeleton of some beast inside the cell. On the right side, it looks like a very large lizard skeleton.
Dragon.
On the left side, it looks like it was probably a bear, something that, and it's kind of like propped
This
up
used
against
to be
wall.
the zoo.
Iraq
Somebody
Zoo is very.
forgot
Yeah,
to
Yeah.
feed the
forgot to feed the
animals.
animals.
Could be. But the skeletons are of things with very large teeth. Large, nasty, sharp, pointy teeth.
Are you able to speak with?
Dead
You can speak
animals.
with animals, right?
Really dead animals?
No, I mean,
It's a corpse. Mine specifically says a corpse.
Yeah.
I don't
I would
know if
assume
you
that
could like
means-
both work out some kind of connection to see if
I
they
can't
know.
speak to
If
the
they're,
dead, though.
yeah, but she can. Maybe she could try to like, I don't know, just
Could I?
How do you say chirp chirp in dead?
Could I interpret for her?
At this point, I'm going to go with what Bridget had said, is it's a corpse.
Yeah, so-
And these are probably too far gone to possess the ability of speech
Okay.
with that spell. I'd like to
Because
see
it's
one
no longer
resurrected.
even a corpse. It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
skeleton.
skeleton.
It's a
I don't know.
skeleton.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Next level, I'd like to see one resurrected. But,
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to be...
resurrect me, a lizard. Although I think resurrect says something about recently deceased.
There's
So the
animate
hall,
dead.
the hall ends here, though, and then you have these two.
No, it keeps going, but these are the first bars
gotcha.
you've seen on the sides. And actually, if you with the way you've bent the light, it shines farther down, and you see that it looks like there are several sets of cells.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Check them out.
Check out the cells.
I want
I'd
to see
say
who's down. I don't want to open it.
this is
but we
the
could-
Forgotten
Well, yeah.
Zoo.
Are they all, everybody dead in here, or is it, or are they,
Yeah, I would go more with menagerie than a zoo
Yeah.
because they're oddity animals that
Yeah.
are dangerous animals. That
It's all
are kept
animals?
for a purpose. Yes.
So is
As you
it-
go through, I say animals. For us at the table, it'd be mythical creatures. So I'll tell you, the lizard you saw was the skeleton of a basilisk. The bear was of a dire bear, and these are monstrous animals. If
All
you want
right,
to go
Mommy,
with the word
Daddy,
animal.
can we leave the spooky zoo now?
no, we're not finished yet.
So, as far as we can see in these cells, is there any movement or activity? Like, is everything pretty much dead?
From a torchlight, what you can see is it's just the skeletons in there, and then just remnants of things like metal collars and chains and stuff within the cells.
It had a little blankie
And a blankie.
and a chew toy.
And you know, yeah, without being too funny with it, yeah, stuff like that, stuff that an animal may have had in its cell.
Are there any, like, plaques on outside the cells, then, like, saying what it might be? Or a name? Yeah, things like that.
Right now, I'm going to say no,
Okay.
because this area is a little different from the other side.
This
Right,
is
I
like
guess.
the rich weirdos zoo.
Oh, totally.
I say
Could be.
we keep going.
Yeah, I
Because
def-
wait,
And
But wait,
keep
also
this
think
end?
here too, if you were to be able to look up into the street, you might be under the keep now. So when you say the rich weirdos area,
You're totally
Okay.
right.
it's very possible. But this stuff is so old that it's just skeletons, no remnants of any bones, meat, whatever, and it looks like completely natural decay. It's not crawling with.
Are you able
bugs
to
or
tell
anything.
Is this like
how
a
long
room?
these might have been?
No, it's a hallway that just has these cells along the
Right.
sides.
Past
Each
the
one
is
is
there
a
anything
room.
past the cells?
If you go past, let's say you go past the cells,
Is there more
Or
hallway?
cells?
there are a total of 20, 10 on each side.
Oh, okay.
So there are a lot of these creatures, and each one held a different creature. The skeletons are at least slightly different, if not completely
Well, then
different.
I'm absolutely fascinated because I've never seen anything like these before.
And you probably
I don't know
wouldn't.
if you-
As you get farther down the line, the cells are actually larger and larger. And by the last cell, the ones that are opposite of each other, those cells themselves are probably bigger than 20-foot square.
Are these like
inside.
woolly mammoths?
And one side looks like it might as well, if nothing else, someone said dragon earlier, I think it was Kelly. It could be a baby dragon skeleton there. And on the opposite side, there's something about the size of an elephant
Jeez.
with very large tusks.
Have you ever seen any of these type of animals before?
not in my forest.
Yeah.
If anything, they would have been around hundreds of years ago. And they may have heard stories about them.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, we've all heard stories of dragons.
And because I like to make sure we keep things linked, if you remember, there was a previous episode where we said there were rumors about mythical beasts that
on
were
this
seen in the forest in the last few weeks that hadn't been seen for a long time.
Yeah. I remember
That should ring a bell in your character's head. I'm helping it ring by reminding
Okay.
you of something I
I
said
remember that.
before.
Yeah, it was on this side.
Yeah.
Yeah. The land.
Okay.
Interesting. But so
And
then,
that was when you were going on the travel between
Valshond.
Valshond and Harak while you were on the road talking to people. Some of them
yeah.
said, by the way, we heard stories about blah, blah, blah. Because someone at that point asked about dragons, too.
So this hall ends, though, at those last
So
two.
after the last two, there's actually a large area. It opens up into, call it a circle-ish. And along the walls there are plaques. Each one, where the plaques are, you see picture, drawing, if you will, scratched into the rock with some varying levels of pigment that some of it has fallen off. And each one looks like it's a picture of the animals that you walk past. So this would be the place you go to read about them.
Okay.
Neat.
And it's in a language you don't quite understand, although you can make out some of the symbols like you
Right.
did before. And as it goes along, each one is like given a a threat level. And so the largest animals are like, these are the most dangerous. They have like, I don't know, like 4 skull and crossbones next to them, and the smaller ones have 1 skull and crossbones kind of thing. Yeah. And so it looks like this was a place to learn about things out in the world that could harm you and how to, how to identify them maybe. Close to a museum.
It could be where they were building an army and they're saying, well, this one is more powerful.
It very well could be. If somebody understood the writing, we would know more thoroughly. Yeah,
I did my part.
Yeah.
Wait,
Chris made a roll.
Yeah.
Are you prompting me to
Anybody
spout
can.
lore? Okay. Oh,
Do
Bridget.
I recognize any of this writing whatsoever?
Can I get another shot at it, or is I've already understood what I can understand?
Failures can always happen. Yeah. That's what moves us forward.
That's true.
Actually, whether it's a success or a failure, it moves us forward.
I got
We just
11.
got a die that won't stop spinning.
8, 10,
Plus
10.
Oh, it's a spout lore? Yeah,
Spout Lore's
it's 8.
intelligence.
8.
Oh, intelligence? No, then it's 8.
I got
It's 8.
I
11.
got an 8.
So,
Okay, so here's what we'll do. Between the 3 of you, you're able to kind of put pieces together. And I'm looking at this as like a montage where somebody's reading like, wow, this word kind of looks like that. And someone else says, yeah, but that word's over here and over here and over here.
Oh,
and
right. Pulling the context
Yeah,
out.
exactly. The end result is actually closer to what Kelly said than what I originally said. It's not like a museum or warnings, but it looks like somebody was finding a way to breed these animals, and in some cases try to crossbreed them so that they could create more stronger army kind of thing. And you get the indication from what you read that some of the hybrid animals are found in the quote-unquote other corridor. So these are all of the base animals that they use to try and create their army.
We should go check out that hall to the right.
to the right?
Yes.
To the southwest. So this was the chicken's foot thing. You guys
Yep.
went on the southeast one. There's still one straight to the south, which was the quote-unquote safe one. And then the
never
one
said
to the
that.
west, which was, yeah.
Yes.
Tunnel ahead.
Yeah,
Bad.
it's giving us a little drawing.
Zoo.
The drawer.
Bad zoo.
Bad zoo. It's like a
Safe.
kazoo, but
Gadzooks.
bad.
And then here's
The great
question mark.
Gadzooks.
All right.
Yeah, we'll treat it like that.
So are we going, we're backtracking?
We were here.
Yeah.
We're going
Yeah.
back here.
And we're going to the other,
Question mark.
Yeah.
Yes.
The question
other
mark.
Yeah. Okay.
From the bad zoo.
Now, let me just say, before you do that, that big area that had all the writing in it, that hallway actually continues as well.
Oh,
Finish.
Okay.
Yeah. Check
that's
it
a
out.
really. The zoo just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, it does.
So do we want to keep on
And
the hallway with the zoo?
So I'll make it maybe a little easier. So that goes back. So think of it as when these 3 split, it's the same thing on the other end. So the 3 come back together on the other end.
Oh.
Okay. And that's what you reach.
So, like,
you reach the same triple fork in the road as you follow this one back.
Gotcha.
So it's like a loop, but then it leads to the
Oh,
other
it's
side.
down there, like, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can think of it. I can't see what Bridget has just drawn. Yes, but there's one that goes right through the middle.
Right.
The safe hallway goes through the middle, if you will. The idea here being, if you walk down the middle, you don't pass any of the bad things.
Right.
But if you walk down either side, you're passing the bad things.
Check the other side.
Right. And let me just put here that there's a circle here, and there's going to be a circle here when you check the other side. And that's the big area where you just read all the plaques.
Okay.
So that's the big room that shows the information.
So it
interesting.
goes southeast and then curves back
Technically,
towards
you would probably
the
hit these
south.
plaque rooms first, coming from
From the city.
yeah.
From the keep.
But
Yeah.
why have the go all the way to the forge? Like, what was at the forge originally? Was it always a forge or something else?
Who knows?
Well,
This could be, like you said, these could be hundreds of years old.
and maybe
Do people even in the keep even know this exists right now? Interesting.
There is no dust to know if anything was disturbed.
Right.
That's one way to look at it, too. This place, like you said earlier, I think you said hermetically sealed. Essentially, yeah.
Are there wall
Nothing
sconces
passed
for
through
torches normal like here anywhere? So you got to bring your own
it's
light with you.
been a
no
long
matter what.
time.
Yeah.
Nobody's
Yeah,
been
it's
down
here.
here.
Could have been unnaturally lit as well.
Yeah, especially if they're, you know,
Especially if there's
creating
clerics
like
or-
wizards creating other creatures kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. All right, let's check.
So
the hallway.
we go then. So you finish that hallway. You end up at the fork on the opposite side, and you go towards the second hallway. And the first thing you arrive at is the big circular room again. And here in the circular room, though, it looks more like a laboratory than the other one that was just museum plaques on the walls with descriptions of animals. This one, there are desks set up along the walls. There are literally beakers and bits and pieces. You see bones, a few bones on this table, a few other bones on another table, and all the way around there are old books that are in pristine condition. I say old because, well, everything here must have been around for a long time. There's no indication of anything being disturbed recently, and it just looks like a place where a mad scientist or several of them were working.
So they're going Jurassic Park.
That's a darn good way to put it.
They're going
this is
Jurassic Park. They're trying to-
technology-free Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
That
Well, magic
big
is the
room.
only technology can't be explained.
Yes, but that big room where they had all the computers and the robot arms and all that stuff. Yes, medieval it.
Okay.
That's what you're seeing here.
Yep. All right.
And for what you can discern of the writing here,
So you said there's books. and
this
things?
is where they were hybridizing
Yeah.
things. Like, what's a dragon mule going to look like? Who knows? But it'd be a fire-breathing beast of burden. Right? Mad scientist crap.
Can
So
carry your stuff
still,
and
there's
roast your
still books here
marshmallows.
that the paper hasn't rotted out.
Oh, yeah.
I say we take some of this stuff.
Definitely.
This is treasure for somebody. It's
If
it's
nothing
good.
else, somebody interested in history might buy it
Yeah.
from you. Yeah.
But you said they're in good condition.
Yeah, everything in here it's to Chris's point earlier when he said hermetically sealed, everything is pristine except the biological stuff of the animals decayed, but there's no
Oh, okay.
there's no sunlight, so
Okay.
there's no light degradation.
There's no moisture.
Yeah,
There's
and
no
there's no
smells.
bugs around and what have you.
Okay.
So basically, we just ruined the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Okay.
just introduced
We just
bacteria
introduced-
into the area.
Light.
So
and
it's going to
heat
get
and-
worse, just not today.
Yeah.
Just very soon.
Yeah. I mean, we'll try to close it up.
Shrugs. Yeah, we'll try to close it up. Let me just leave a few maggots here in the corner, and we'll make our way out.
Now, can I ask another
Light the
question?
place on fire.
After this one?
Nope. Done.
After
Go on.
Did we see any other rungs in the side of the wall, like the one that we climbed down?
Nothing yet. You haven't gone to any place that would go up yet.
Okay.
Possibly as you went farther down the safe hallway. But to shorten the exploration on this side, you see exactly what you would expect. In each of the cells, same idea. The first cells you see are the largest and they go down to the smallest. But in each of the cells you see a combination of bone structures within the cells. Almost all of them misshapen in some odd way.
So nothing looked like it worked out.
Yeah, probably not.
Things with like 1.5 heads,
Yeah.
Or two hits.
Like
2 snouts, and 4 ears, and
like a dragon
One
with
eye.
a dragon with a tusk growing up through its mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of not so good.
Yeah.
But you could imagine that if they did have any success, it's probably not what you can see in here. I don't know if anybody really has a good working knowledge of mythological creature bone structure.
Yeah.
But just looking at it, it's meh, iffy. Nothing should have an arm growing out of its rib cage. It should
I
be
like
more
this
like
place.
near a shoulder. You
Yeah.
might like
A lot of
it.
stuff.
because
Suffering
it
happened
seems
here.
like a lot of suffering would have happened
Yeah,
here. Well, this is
definitely.
a house of horrors.
For sure. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
The
Those
animals-
poor animals would have
Yeah.
been.
I would defer to calling them creatures.
These
but-
creatures would have been.
Yeah, the same idea though.
Suffering.
They definitely probably weren't happy with their situation.
We should make our way down the safe hall.
Yeah.
I like the sound of a safe hall.
Quote unquote safe. hall.
Yeah, and that's why I keep saying it that way because
Because he's
it
baiting
was
us.
safe forever ago. Whether it's safe now,
Yeah. I don't trust you.
I don't either.
Not safe from the scourge of Harak.
Nothing is.
Harak is everywhere.
The that hallway leads another couple of minute walk. And again, I'm taking it as you guys aren't running, or
Yeah,
you're
we're
probably not
walking.
even walking fast. You're just keeping a steady pace. So you're walking at maybe a mile and a half an hour or something like that. So a few minutes does bring you a couple hundred feet. The hallway it splits, but it looks like it only splits insofar as there are two staircases leading up. And you can see both staircases, and they lead up to what looks like just solid stone above. The same kind of stone like what you pulled off of the entrance at the smithy, but also the same kind of stone that's all around you that was in the cells and all
So
that
is it a
stuff.
stone wall or a stone?
The same as the... It's like the
this.
same material as a stone wall, but it's on top. It's a lid.
Okay.
And it's at the top of the stairs. So the stairs lead up to it. And it's a pretty good bet that the three of you together couldn't move one of these slabs. It's we're sitting at this 6 foot by 3 foot table. It's at least this big. And if it's like the stone that you moved in the blacksmith shop, it probably weighs closer to
So
a
this
ton.
is a dead end.
It could be, depending on how you try to handle it. But looking at it, as your character looking at this, you could say, wow, there's probably no way I could move that. But there's also probably no way that you could heal people by praying to somebody, and there's probably no way you could just turn into a snake by wanting to. But you guys figure that out, right? I just want to make sure you understand. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying your character would say, holy shit, that's heavy.
I'm not comfortable trying to do anything that would move that stone because we don't know what's on top of it.
You can be pretty sure that it's in the keep, though, just so you know.
Right, but it might be a sewer on top of
You
it.
know, it very well could be.
Probably isn't.
I like
anywhere.
suffering, but that's a little much.
Is there anything we could, like, tie a rope to on this slab? Like, is there any...
The slab has to go up, from what you can tell.
Oh, it has to go up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like its weight is what's sealing this area.
Yeah.
All right. Kind of weight could I
I could try to
handle?
heat it up until it starts to crack. You know, we could chip away. I don't know. We could try to lift it. We could all get our push it up and start pushing it up. You know.
I could
But other than that,
turn into...
can't really use. I don't have enough power to use fire as a force. You know, to push things.
It could be the kind of thing where you make a mental note of where you think you are and investigate from above.
I was
Yeah.
going to say,
I was definitely
could
gonna
we,
mark
could we
these
out
pace
there.
it off?
I definitely wanted to mark these on the bottom, regardless, to see
Yeah.
if we find them.
Pace off the direction and how many steps, and then go back up
You can
and
definitely
see
do
if we
that.
can try and
Yeah.
match that.
Yeah.
Well, I
Definitely do
mean,
that.
how are we going to get into the keep if that's indeed where we are?
Well, you could fly.
I
yeah,
have
I
a
could
way.
fly,
Yeah, let's
but-
see about this. Yeah, okay.
But on the last episode, or maybe the one before, Bridget had conceived of an idea for
Literally.
Lenore to get in there. Remind us what it
The,
was?
the sisters of our order were expected to be helping deliver a baby of one of
Oh,
the
that's right.
councilmen's wives was expecting any day now.
We could be your helpers.
And as far as trying to figure it out where it is above ground, to me, that wouldn't even be a roll because I was very specific, and I'll stay specific. It is a straight shot from the blacksmith south. No turns, no twists, just straight south. And if you figure in your head, all you're figuring at that point is how far was it? And then when that splits, there's going to be two slabs somewhere, however hidden or whatever,
Yeah.
that are somewhere about 20 feet apart or so. And both of these slabs are about a 6x3, 6x4 slab of stone.
So it might be like, what building inside the keep is it? You know,
Right.
kind of thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Unless... I don't know. Do you think if I turned into a horse and lifted this?
No, I don't think. The
not gonna get the
reason
right
I say it,
leverage.
Yeah.
I don't.
On these
Because
steps.
first off, you
Oh,
I'm on
steps.
steps. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I guess we
Yeah.
would have to go back and try to maybe make our way there for the delivery.
Now we've got a couple minutes left in this.
If we only had
episode.
that fourth guy.
If
to help
only.
lift us.
But we've got a couple minutes left of the episode. You guys want to go back and go north?
Yeah, we need to check the other way.
Check that.
Yeah, let's check and see where that ends up. I have
I
a
assume it
feeling
goes
it
out of
ends
town.
up in the woods
Yeah, out of
somewhere.
town somewhere, but we can
And-
verify.
Let's
and-
just see if maybe Trillium can see if there's any kind of tracks.
Well, we'd like to see if it's been in use as well.
Right.
Because this probably definitely not.
So here's where I'll in order to be able to wrap this up, I'll just give you the lowdown on it. It does head to the north, and it does head for a few minutes, and it does go out of town. And it goes far enough out that where it ends, there's the same kind of slab, so we're going to go with you can't move it. However, I'm going to let you guys also be able to say, you just walk out of town, trace to where it is,
Right.
and you can see it's actually right in the middle of what looks like, well, for Trillium for sure, you could say this is not a natural ring of trees. They were planted as a ring around this spot. And this spot just has like a little mound that has, I have it here, give me a second. It was thistle lilies growing out of the top of that mound.
Okay.
And that's definitely, the slab is underneath there.
Interesting.
And that's where we're going to wrap this one up.
Oh,
and we should have our ranger back at our next episode to explore these new possibilities.
Yeah, I think we've got bail money now for him.
Possibly. Yeah, if you stole the right book.
I took as many as we can carry, like all three of us, whatever
Yeah,
we can grab
get
out of there,
a couple of
because
books.
that's good information, for
Definitely.
history,
Any other thoughts, Kelly?
Did we take stuff out of Gerald's forge?
Nothing yet, but that's something we can explore before we
Maybe
Are we
we
gonna
should.
Are we going to get out of the tunnel?
Well, if we're going
well,
north,
you kind of already did.
Yeah.
Well, we went to the
Yeah.
end of the
Yes,
the
I would
tunnel
want
the
to. I
other
would want to
way.
cover it up if we can.
Yeah, I just don't want to
in
leave
the
it.
forge.
Yeah.
The smithy. Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
want
could definitely put the stuff back on and kick soot and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
around and try and make it look less obvious.
but is there anything in the forge that we might want to take with us?
I don't know.
I think the short answer is yes, and we can find out what that's going to be when we have our ranger around next time.
Oh, great.
All right.
Works.
All right.
That's good.
In the meantime, we'll wrap this one up, and we can all say
Bye-bye now.
Adios.
Oh my God.
The preceding podcast was brought to you by One Joe Young. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.